Okay, trying to trade the oil report on May 10th. It's moving a little slow, so just watching it. It's bounced off to 87 here twice. Having a hard time pushing above 47 even. It's right here. So this will be our trade. Alright, so I missed that trade. Yeah. So anyway, that would be the entry there. 47, it pushed to 47.12. This is very, very very weak price action or very strong consolidation here, the exchange of orders, buy and sell orders. Okay, so I took this trade. I saw some momentum pushing up, so I took it. I have a doji pushing off of the 4 TMT here, but so far this morning, very, very weak price action, not much momentum. So, not having a whole lot of confidence in the trade at this point. So, you can always just move your risk up here and just keep it tight. I don't recommend moving it down at this point. It doesn't look like it wants to push up, so I got just a bad feeling that it's going to drop just because it's not pushing up, and it's already 15 minutes, 16 minutes after the report. So you want to keep your wrist tight right now. And remember, you don't have to trade, right? You don't have to trade. Our job as traders is to trade, but first job is to preserve capital and manage risk. So if you evaluate an environment that you don't like, a trading condition you don't like, whether you're not right, the market's not right, the timing's not right, time of day, whatever it is not right. It's our job to decide to not trade and to preserve capital. It's part of our risk management to decide when to trade and when not to trade. We have to keep that in mind. Our only job is not to sit here and take trades like a robot. Our job is to understand risk, manage it, and preserve capital. So I'm going to move this up now. All right, it is moving up on me, so I mean, it's good. It's moving in our favor. It's just really weak. It's doing it really weak. So
Target.
I'll put it below the line, the resistance line here. And it still went right up and touched it and didn't
Stop
fail me.
filled.
See? Even with it being a tick off, I wasn't far enough off. So pretty weak. But we're still in the trade, so this 50, 60, 40, 50 are all areas where it could definitely bounce off of. But we're still in the trade, so I won't click out of it, and we'll just see if it creeps, just keeps creeping up. Yeah, and at this point, with this kind of action, I don't feel like adding in, but we'll just have to see. We'll have to see if it starts moving or not. So you want to manage it, just don't manage it too tight. You see where it's coming up to now. My target was 24. It came up to 24 again, and it still wouldn't have filled me. It has to go to 25 to fill that 24 target. There, now it would have filled it. But it's the way it works. So you could look at it as this trailing ATM was a little too tight for this action this morning, and it's going to happen because we're not perfect. So I'm not perfect either. And the stop was a little too tight. If I would have kept everything down here, then that target would have been filled. And obviously I'd have more money. But my number one objective is to preserve capital and manage risk. So I find by doing that, I'm actually able to save more money, and then in the end up with more money by trying to save more money. So, and just be risk averse and be a risk manager instead of a risk taker. We're always taking risk by putting money into the market, any trade we decide to take. But I like looking at it as trying to manage risk and manage the money instead of just throwing it at the market. So yeah, the biggest thing with the oil report for me is my expectation, because I expect it to move quickly. It moves quickly out of the report, and I expect it to keep moving quickly, and it doesn't a lot of the times. And so that kind of throws me off, and so I go right back. As soon as I see it acting like this, I go right back to how I normally would trade without a news event. And how I normally trade is being just very, very calm about everything, um, waiting for a setup that I like. So I actually missed this one, which would have ended up, I mean, a decent trade. 10 ticks. I missed it though. In between stopping recording and I was adjusting something else because it was moving around so slow. I actually I missed that right there. So that would have been at least a partial winner on that one. So I just started watching, and well, you saw where I took this one, so that's where I'm at with it now, and I'm just managing it up. So not a spectacular day, but it's okay. It's all right. Not always going to have home runs. Okay, so it looks like on my lower time frame, what I have my levels calculated to daily on this time frame and intraday on this time frame. So it looks like it's coming up and hitting the 40 area and bouncing off. Remember I'd mentioned um, so it's evens 20, 40, 50, 60, 80. Uh, Oil will a lot of times react to those areas as support or resistance. So I'm basically just trying to keep my hands off of it at this point and see if it'll keep going or not. Because if I close out of this, I will not feel comfortable enough getting back into it at this point. So it's best to try and maximize profit by not over managing it. It's the best way I can put it. So 30. So my last target is 25. So 30. It would have been hit right here. So it had full 3 targets hit. Um, I say I would have because I moved it up and I'm just trailing at this point. So you'll find you won't always make the right decision, but if you stay consistent with a winning strategy, you'll end up on the right side the majority of the time. So this target that I'm pushing out, I do that very often to help me maximize profit. Is it going to work the way I want it to this time? I have no idea, but it does a lot of the time work that way. This video is going to end up being a little bit longer than most would like, especially for a news trade. So I'll just try and pause it and see if I can't minimize some of the time. Okay, I haven't moved my stop. It's still at 26. I could possibly, there's options I can do. I can move it down below this resistance line, thinking it could turn into support possibly. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take, at this point, whatever profit it's going to give me. It's acting really uncommitted and what I call squirrely. As I've said before, resistance can become support, so it very well may be right here and bounce right off of it and keep going up. But with just the lack of momentum this morning, and as you can see, it did bounce right off of this here, right off of this resistance. Yeah, so I'm just gonna, I'm gonna call it good. Definitely not the greatest oil report trading, but it's not always going to be. It's the reality. So, okay, I'll try and cut some of the time off of this so most people can see it in a decent time frame. And thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.